he can't say anything because he's one of those guys. Remember, I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening.
Will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during
100%.
He's one of those guys. Remember, I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening.
Ashton Kutcher, Will Smith, and even Kanye West are all speaking out about Diddy, and allegedly a new subpoena is about to be issued for Ashton Kutcher to testify in the upcoming hearing for Diddy. What does Diddy have to say to Ashton Kutcher, and why are celebrities suddenly naming Diddy and publicly distancing themselves? Let's find out.
Ashton and Puffy, or Diddy, have been friends for decades. And they've done movies together, they've hung out together, and he can't say anything because he's one of those guys. Remember, I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening. A lot of them don't want people looking into their closet, but Ashton doesn't want the blowback that he got with Danny Masterson.
All right, so pretty tepid in how they reply. Meantime, we're hearing Diddy's ex, Cassie, is cooperating with the feds during this investigation.
100%.
What more is she saying, Paula?
She's not saying anything. So here's the deal. She had sued him for sex trafficking, a bunch of horrible laundry list of stuff. And he settled. It's the one case he settled. It was the first case he settled it. I'm hearing for around $30 million. However, just because you settle a case, you may have an NDA, but if the feds come a knocking, you better answer.
Government, they could subpoena Ashton Kutcher to provide information, right? And that's something we have been wondering. A big talking point is, well, why didn't that you have these federal agents that swarm these properties? Sometimes a raid like that is in conjunction with an indictment and arrest. Here, it's not the case. I'm of the opinion they're still in the evidence gathering phase. They have to process everything that was recovered from the homes. But I also was suspecting that they're issuing subpoenas to a lot of people right now to get a better understanding of what that looks like. And if that's the case, and Ashton Kutcher was issued a subpoena, then no wonder he wouldn't be saying anything about Diddy right now either, right?
Well, that's right. And, let's underline the significance of those raids, okay? We have the Fourth Amendment that says that unreasonable searches and seizures are prohibited in this country. Federal agents can't simply legally barge into someone's home without having persuaded a judge to issue a warrant, to sign off on a warrant application. So, that's, and it's not something that you do early on in an investigation if you don't have enough support to justify a warrant.
Ashton being called to testify against Diddy in the midst of him trying to come back to acting could destroy his career. Back in 2020, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis came out in favor of convicted child rapist Danny Masterson, and the fallout from that resulted in Ashton having to resign from his company and almost getting a divorce. Now, with Ashton being connected to Diddy, a much worse rapist, things are only looking worse for disgraced movie stars. Danny Masterson was charged with 3 counts of rape in 2020. Diddy, on the other hand, allegedly has over 100 victims.
More backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson. The actors were criticized for calling their former co-star a role model, among other things. And the consensus is that video didn't help.
We are aware of the pain.
Fierce backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and wife Mila Kunis as they apologize for the character letter calling that 70s show star Danny Masterson an outstanding role model and exceptional older brother figure with a caring nature.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years. So that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and we're sorry.
One of the women Masterson was sentenced last week of known only as Jane Doe number 1, is slamming their apology. This video was incredibly insulting and hurtful. Chrissy Bixler, another Masterson accuser, blasted Kutcher. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor, referring to Masterson.
That 70s show star Danny Masterson is behind bars and will be for a long, long time. If you did not hear the news, he was sentenced yesterday for a rape case, 2 rapes actually, and got 30 years to life. And there are already concerns about his mental state as he has begun serving his time. He was remanded immediately in court, and now police are concerned.
They are watching him. They are watching him very, very closely, and they're not using that word, but they're talking about mental health. They're seeing if there's any signs of distress behind bars. They don't want to happen to him what we've seen happen to other high-profile celebrities.
Every major celebrity that was involved with Diddy is trying to either step away from him or take a break from the spotlight. Seeing Ashton being called to testify has scared everyone. During a recent concert in San Diego, Will Smith denied ever being at a Diddy freak-off party.
But the world we're in right now, it's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I see them now. Some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all their memes. I can stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that, man. I ain't did none of that stupid. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil. But I haven't said that publicly. I just did. Y'all the first time. I usually don't respond to dumb stuff because people. It's so many things people say, so much stuff, but. You know, that one, your memes was doing too much. Y'all was having me mad.
Despite everyone else stepping away from Diddy, the only one still on his side is Kanye. After launching into several anti-Semitic rants on X, Ye is now taking Diddy's side and released an exclusive audio call from prison too. Just hear what Diddy had to say.
That's it.
I know now.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for just taking care of my kids, man. Ain't nobody reach out to them. Ain't nobody call them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying? That meant so much. You know what I'm saying? That you reached out to them and took them under your wing while I'm in this one. Man, and I appreciate you. Word up, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you so much, man. It's like you raised me even when I didn't know you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel the love, yeah, for real. I feel the love. For real. It means so much to me. This right here is crazy. You be careful out there because they definitely trying to end us, you feel me?
Yeah.
They can't do it. They can't do it and they ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat this and get next to you.
Yeah.
We gonna raise our families and become the kings that we supposed to be, you feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But words can't explain how much it means to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like being left for dead, and only one person coming to do anything to get you. And that's the level of appreciation that I have for you.
Things are looking worse than ever for Diddy and Ashton Kutcher. His alleged best friend isn't doing all that great either. Ever since 2020, Ashton has been trying to beat the best friend allegations first, from Danny Masterson and now from Diddy. During a recent interview, Ashton Kutcher said that he regrets supporting Danny Masterson and claims that it was one of his biggest mistakes.
Any comment?
Over 5 years after Danny Masterson's allegations surfaced, his former That 70s Show co-star Ashton Kutcher breaks his silence. The actor opens up to Esquire. In short, it's complicated. Kutcher wants Masterson to be found innocent of the charges brought against him, but at the same time doesn't want his friend to get off the hook. Quote, "I wholesale feel for anybody who feels like they were violated in any way." In 2017, Masterson was hit with multiple sexual accusations, which he denied. At the time, he and Kutcher were co-stars on another sitcom, The Ranch.
What are you talking about?
When you sit with your friends and you know when their sentences are
About to end.
In the wake of the allegations, Netflix fired Masterson, his character Rooster written off.
So you got two choices. Either take that bag and disappear, or you could just disappear.
In 2020, he was charged with sexually assaulting 3 women between 2001 and 2003. As Kutcher sees it, ultimately, I can't know. I'm not the judge, I'm not the jury, I'm not the DA, I'm not the victim, and I'm not the accused. With that in mind, Kutcher concludes, "I don't have a space to comment, I just don't know."
Supporting a criminal is one thing, and actually helping them abuse minors makes you just as bad. Ashton allegedly knew what Diddy was doing, but never bothered to report or stop him. In fact, back in the early 2000s, Ashton was even inviting minors to Diddy's parties himself. Is this really how an innocent man acts?
Hey! Oh my gosh, that's so wrong!
So good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Do you remember where
Can I party tonight? Yeah!
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked. Because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
Things have only been going downhill for Ashton Kutcher since 2019. In 2019, Ashton Kutcher was involved in the murder of a girl that he was seeing. Allegedly, Ashton went to pick up 22-year-old Ashley Allerin for a date and saw blood spilled on the carpet, which he ignored. Ashton claims that Ashley never came out to meet him, and it was only later that he found out that she had been murdered.
What about Ashton Kutcher? Because Ashton Kutcher, who I believe could possibly just as bad, Ashton Kutcher as well, listen, he's not guilty of this, but he arranged a date, he was late for that date, and when he got to the girl's house, he looked through the window, she was stabbed 47 times. The man ended up getting charged, but Ashton Kutcher was also involved with Abercrombie & Fitch. I think it's Mr. Jeffries who's just been done for trafficking. Ashton Kutcher was also friends with Brittany Murphy, who also was friends with P. Diddy, who also died the same death as Kim Porter. Now, Ashton Kutcher as well also runs a child protection thing, I think it's called Thorn, where he's trying to save children. But we know now a lot of these people use this thing for child to actually not expose it, but to gain from their own benefit. He was also married to Demi Moore, and there was a video of Demi Moore kissing a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old boy. I just feel as if there's a lot of darkness around these people. I feel as if they feel as if they're untouchable. I genuinely think he could be next Ashton Kutcher. Am I wrong here, or could this be right?
Her name was Ashley Ellen, and they were actually going on a date the night that she was found dead. Ashton Kutcher told the court that he screwed up on the night that his girlfriend was horrifically murdered. He told the judge that he was freaking out after learning that Ashley was butchered the same evening they were due to go on a date. Ashton even saw his date's blood splattered on the carpet, which he put down to a red wine stain when he was looking through the window trying to check if she was home, because her car was there, the lights were on, yet she wasn't answering the door. Ashley was a fashion student, and she actually met Ashton at a Christmas party, but at that point he was in a relationship. Once he became single, he called her up and asked her to go out. Because Danny Masterson's accuser details an alleged call with Ashton Kutcher the night his date was murdered. Chrissy wrote in a statement on Instagram, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that will end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speaker that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." And that was the day that Ashley lost her life. So why did Ashton call Danny, and what did he have to tell him?
This guy, Michael, the serial killer, was able to go do it again because the cops weren't able to actually process the case because they knew Ashton Kutcher was indeed lying. So what was he lying about? Well, here's Chrissy Bixler coming in, who was dating Danny Masterson at the time. "Dear Ashton, I know your secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone the night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." Now, what was this plan? Yes, he was in his car for over an hour outside of Ashley's house, speaking with his manager about what to do to protect Ashton's career and reputation. He then called Danny. I heard the entire conversation. Law enforcement was and is aware that what I'm saying is true.
Is it really just a coincidence that Ashton has been involved in multiple rape and murder cases for the last 5 years? How is it that he somehow keeps ending up being best friends with child molesters and rapists?
Rumors then began to swirl that the actor and his wife might be heading towards a breakup. However, a source slammed the split speculation, telling People Wednesday this is absolutely ridiculous and false. Meanwhile, another source appeared to clarify to the outlet about Ashton and the rapper's bond, saying, "Ashton has no involvement in any of this. He doesn't belong in this conversation about Diddy. Ashton has only seen Diddy in a handful of social and business events, all of which have been documented by the media." Diddy was arrested last week in New York on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He pleaded not guilty but was denied bail.
Allegedly, Ashton started his company Thorn to try and walk away from all the things he did with Diddy. Unfortunately for him, he can't act innocent anymore.
My day job is as the chairman and the co-founder of Thorn. We build software to fight human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children. And that's our core mission. My other day job is that of the father of two, a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. And as part of that job that I take very seriously, I believe that it is my effort to defend their right to pursue happiness and to ensure a society and government that defends it as well. But the right to pursue happiness for so many is stripped away. It's ripped. It's abused. It's taken by force, fraud, or coercion. It is sold for the momentary happiness of another. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play.
Dozens of celebrities have either left the U.S. or are moving overseas to avoid being caught up in the Diddy drama, and Diddy knows this. Ashton was planning to leave too until Diddy's call from prison leaked.
You think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside?
He has reached out to a witness, an alleged participant in multiple freak-offs.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country?
And he's asking people to intimidate witnesses or pay people off.
Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Don't contact me anymore, pup. I already got that Houston lawyer breathing down my neck over that 13-year-old girl. If you don't want things to get worse for you, then you need to start answering my son's phone call.
The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense.
New York is having a problem with leaks in this Diddy case, with alleged video of the court hearings already on the internet and leaked phone calls where he's calling witnesses. Things are getting out of control and you won't believe what he says on these calls. Recently, the DA released that Diddy was contacting witnesses from jail and they were saying this is the reason that he shouldn't get bail. He was using other inmates' phone calls to three-way people who would then call the witnesses, and that's who he spoke to over the phone. Also, in a weird turn of events, the DA who brought these charges against Diddy is suddenly resigning from his position position during the biggest case of his career, and that is strange. So let's break down this insane phone call that we found online. Legal disclaimer, people, I'm just a guy that reacts to stuff I find on the internet. So as of right now, everything is rumors, gossip, or opinions of others. Everything in this video is just alleged.
Ellen DeGeneres is saying goodbye to the USA. Multiple outlets are reporting that the comedian and wife Portia de Rossi are bidding farewell to the United States and are moving across the pond to rural England. Reports say the couple was driven to their decision after the election of Donald Trump, though had put the wheels in motion prior to Election Day. Ellen previously voiced her support for Kamala Harris on Instagram, posting back in August, "There's nothing more powerful than a woman whose time has come. I can't wait for Kamala Harris to be our next president." Ellen and Portia are said to be getting ready to put their primary residence on the market. The home is in Montecito, California, and the two purchased the estate back in 2019. The stand-up comedian previously opened up about being, quote, kicked out of Hollywood during a recent Netflix special, referencing the toxic workplace allegations that dogged her daytime talk show prior to her exit from TV.
Allegedly, Diddy was trying to contact witnesses, and the people he knew could be called to testify against him. Prosecutors claim that call records from the Metropolitan Detention Center prove that Diddy was in contact with witnesses and at times was trying to harass and bribe them to stay quiet. It's more than likely that Diddy tried contacting Ashton too.
The latest on Sean Diddy Combs, prosecutors are accusing Combs of trying to contact prospective witnesses and obstruct the case against him. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, is here with more on that. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning, Robin. Sean Combs is going to be asking a judge this week to release him on bail, but prosecutors now say the argument for detention has only gotten stronger. This morning, federal prosecutors are accusing Sean Diddy Combs of escalating his attempts to influence the jury pool and subvert his criminal case. Almost immediately after arriving at the federal jail in Brooklyn, prosecutors say Combs started using telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates to call people not on his approved contact list.
Can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving.
Prosecutors allege Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. On some of those calls, prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Oh, thank y'all for being strong and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.
Christina Courtroom, who has been described as Diddy's chief of staff, has also come out and addressed the rumors.
But she has been named as a defendant and mentioned in various lawsuits. And in light of that, she is now speaking out for the first time. In a statement that was published by USA Today and first reported by Rolling Stone, she said the following, quote, "For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These false allegations of my involvement are causing irreparable and incalculable damage to my reputation and the emotional well-being of myself and my family. I have never condoned or aided and abetted the sexual assault of anyone, nor have I ever drugged anyone. The idea that I could be accused of playing a role in or even being a bystander to the rape of anyone is beyond upsetting, disturbing, and unthinkable. That is not who I am, and my heart goes out to all victims of sexual assault. I am confident that the allegations against me will be proven to be untrue." So, what is she seemingly referring to? Well, how about the fact that she is listed as a defendant in an amended complaint filed this month by Ashley Parham, who claims that she was violently gang raped. And when I say violently gang raped, I mean the allegation that she was gang raped by comedian Drewski, NFL star Odell Beckham Jr., and violently assaulted with a remote by Sean Combs. Defendant KK then removed a pill from one of the medicine bottles and gave it to defendant Diddy. And there were further allegations in the complaint that she needed to keep the plaintiffs in the case sufficiently drunk, that she carried around and gave out drugs, that she provided plaintiff with an IV, like I mentioned, which, by the way, is important because we know that one of the allegations in Combs' criminal case is that IV fluids would be used after prolonged, allegedly illegal sexual episodes, and that she tried to force one of the plaintiffs, an unidentified woman, to sign documents as well. By the way, in this case, she's being sued for racketeering violations, battery, negligence, intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress, unjust enrichment, aiding and abetting, sex trafficking, false imprisonment.
Diddy is trying to suppress evidence like this from being brought up in the upcoming trial. His lawyers have filed a motion to get the evidence dismissed.
Now to Sean Diddy Combs, looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in fueled sex performances called freak-offs, not coerced as prosecutors allege.
Will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during
100% in court in front of a room of people. And so that's the other thing that's awful. They are going to be watching basically porn for hours on end in front of people. So in front of victim one, whoever it may be, there's going to be porno played in the federal courtroom.
And victim one would have been made aware of this?
Oh, 100%. She's probably being told right now, like, this is going to be played in open court. Your sex history, your sex life is going to be talked about in open court. All of this.
And presumably then she knows that and she's pushing forward because she hasn't withdrawn.
But don't forget this. It doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. This isn't a civil case. This is the criminal case. So she could flat out tell the federal government, I don't want to participate, and they can say, we don't care. This is a crime. Crimes are against the United States, not against them. Keep calling her victim one, but don't forget, she's a witness to a crime. So it doesn't matter if she went to them in today and said, I'm not participating. Their response, we don't care. Get your ass on the stand.
Even if Diddy has no one on his side, Kanye apparently isn't going to leave him alone. Kanye claims that Diddy is being targeted because he's black, and he's going to stand with him no matter what.
So let me explain to you why I stand by Puff. When I went against Adidas got my bank to freeze my accounts right before tax time. From the way I understand that, you evade taxes, you can go to prison. So I believe Adidas tried to put me in prison for not abiding by their contract. So watch this. Puff sues Diageo. A hotel video from 10 years earlier is put out. Now people don't like Puff. And then Diageo, they go in with the most insane media takedown I've ever seen, all the way to not just the media, but not allowing a person to get bond for $50 million. There's people with actual murders that are at home on bond and not a $50 million bond, right? So there's something that just feels like it's a public lynching, and it also feels like there's something where they try to do the same thing to me, and that's my stance on that.
Ashton Kutcher is facing serious backlash. Diddy is scrambling to suppress evidence, and celebrities everywhere are distancing themselves before it's too late. But with prosecutors tightening their grip and new testimonies on the horizon, this case is far from over. What do you think? Will Ashton testify, or will he try to escape the spotlight? And what's next for Diddy as the walls keep closing in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.